can't find the Fountain of Youth, at least I can have an RD. I guess that's the second choice. Boy, it's a joy to come out here early in the morning, and we are really out early. I wanted to see how this dried up. Oh, yes. But I'll start my day off on the right cup of coffee. Yeah, that dried up beautifully. And I'm not sure you can see it on a cell phone. I know a lot of people do that. Look at the videos on a cell phone, but on my big screen TV, but almost looks like I know what I'm doing. Almost. So the wonderful news is we're coming right up to the end of our FZR restoration, except for the assembly, some polishing of small parts, a few little items that have to be done on the frame, and we will be ready to start the reassembly, and it's just looking like the right time. The temperature is starting to go up a little each day. In fact, it's been so nice the last couple days. Every time I get ready to paint, though, it gets cloudy, so I'm glad we're basically not concerned with that today. You know, I always like to let that paint dry at least 2, maybe 3 days before I do anything else with the wheel. And it can sit under a heating vent, although I don't know right now. I think I'm going to be getting some phone calls about going for a ride. It's in the high 40s today. It's supposed to go to the high 40s. Now I know that's a good laugh for people that live in the warm weather climates, but we always think of it this way. Below freezing, difficult to paint. From freezing to 40, boy, it's okay. And above 40, let's go riding. But I really have to be honest, I am really excited about starting to see this guy get back together. And it's something I've been dreaming about every night for the last about 2 weeks. I really did spend a lot of time on this wheel, but boy, I think the result is pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing how... Now, last time Glenn was here, he was kind of thinking, he looked at the wheel and it was all sanded and rough, and he was thinking, I don't know if you're going to be able to do it to that one. Well, I don't know. Maybe Glenn's right. We'll see when he gets here a couple days from now. Oh yeah, I just can't stop looking at the wheel. I really can't stop thinking about getting this thing back in one piece. Anyway, that's the excitement, the fun of the restoration. I got to get this downstairs, get the coffee made, line up the little projects we're going to be working on today. So now the real thing is going to be, will I have the patience to wait 2 or 3 days here? Oh my God, I just can't believe how that played out. I am really impressed. I am really impressed with that. I'm not sure. See, it's all relative anyway, but when I do one of these, I can't wait to get out to the garage and see how it dried up. And then all the little detailing on these parts, every one of these parts, the detailing at the very end, do you see the final result? And I just think, wow, how long ago it was. It was probably a year ago, maybe more, that I was doing concept sketches and trying to come up with ideas, and this thing was just a figment of my imagination, and it has evolved into, I think, realistically, this has been the most enjoyable restoration I've ever done. Maybe. We'll find out. I don't know. We're going to get it back together soon, though. As Glenn so correctly says, I can't wait to see it in one piece. Well, you know, I can't either, but unfortunately, or fortunately, patience is a big part of this whole operation. And without the patience, everything else is kind of go on a back burner here. Now, I think it's going to be really nice. I'm really looking forward to it. I suspect you are too. So while I'm trying to get set up this morning, I know I have Glenn's project to work on. We got to do a little grinding here on this, and well, we got to find out what his ultimate plan is here. But we're going to see if we can salvage this tank. The discs are ready to put back on the hub. Sprockets ready to put back on. We got a lot of little polishing. I still have a lot of, believe it or not, I still have a lot of little parts to polish on this. I still got to do the rear axle. So, but that's going to allow me to be patient while that paint is hardening up. I don't want to be handling that paint or doing anything to it until it's fully hard. But just know when it's up by the heating vent, drying up, my coffee will taste that much better. We want to polish this up today. It's one of the things. I do have some more bolts to polish. And it's just us an unending supply of little stuff here. It'll help me stay patient. But I never get sick of looking at the way this paintwork. This paintwork is exceptional. This really did come out nice. I think this morning I'll make the coffee extra strong. I'm really, I'm rambling on and on, I know about. I just love that wheel. Boy, I'm so happy that came to fruition. Well, at least the Eagles are not boycotting me this morning. My baby Eagles. So I thought what I'd try to do here, try to use up the time efficiently. Glenn wants to have this decal off the motorcycle, so we're trying not to go out here. I try to get this sanded with the mechanical sander, maybe up in this area. I'm going to have to start grinding this down and trying to get it level. And because it's really nice outside, I can do this outside. That'll be a lot easier. Now, of course, it's always nice working outside when you can. A lot less mess to clean up. It's going up in the mid-40s, supposed to go almost to 50 today. And we could work out here. This will be a lot more fun than being in the cellar. Now, I'm going to start with some rough paper and then wind up going down to the finer grits I have. The idea is just to try to get this as level as possible. Because this is JB Weld, it's going to sand. It's a lot harder to sand than it would be to do Bondo, but hopefully that'll be the answer to, well, hopefully, the leak that we had there. Now it's going to take a lot more shaping here. I'm just trying to rough this in, but if I do have a low spot here, I can fill it up with Bondo, of course. But there's still a lot of material here, and well, we want to make sure we don't see here. I'm already going through into metal. I don't want to go through into metal. That's the problem. So I've got to be really careful with this. Now it took a lot longer than it normally would take to do this if we did it with Bondo, but we know that the JB Weld is at least going to be, at least hopefully, a little stronger around where that little repair is. So now from this part, I can go over this with Bondo. It just needs a skim coat here to bring in the shape. And then while that's drying, we'll work on some of our other projects here. Okay, and this is the Bondo that the glass-filled Bondo. We've had some really good luck with this. I'll mix up a small batch, and the temperature outside, it should take 15 minutes. We'll be ready to sand it. Okay, so while the Bondo is cooking out here, and it's really getting up in a nice warm temperatures, I have one other thing I can do while I'm waiting for this to dry. You can't cook, obviously you need 10-15 minutes before you can sand it. Oh, I have a little project I want to do. Now what I wanted to do is, I wanted to run this bike, I wanted to prep it up, check the oil, check the air in the tires, check the chain, in the good chance that in the next couple of days I'll be able to get a ride in. Luciano's got his little cafe racer ready, and I thought, well, if we do have that day in the next couple of days, I'd be ready to go. Now before I put the bike aside in the fall, when I knew I wouldn't be riding it as often, I flitzed it all down, and I don't see almost no corrosion at all anywhere. In fact, the aluminum's even held up pretty well. And normally in the spring I would go over the whole bike with you know, polish and wax and everything. It looks like I don't have a lot of work to do. Actually, it looks like everything held up pretty well. And I guess that they advertise flitz as 6 months protection in salt water. I don't know if that includes my garage though. But it looks like it's held up pretty well. No, I'm just going to wipe this all down with detailing wax. I think we're ready to go. Well, if I can't find the Fountain of Youth, at least I can have an RD. I guess that's the second choice. Not a bad choice either. Well, 10-15 minutes later, it is all prepped and ready to go. Air in the tires, chain, 2-stroke oil, and a wipe down. And boy, we really made it through the winter unscathed. Amazing. Now let's go see if that Bondo's ready to sand. Good way to take a break while your Bondo's drying. Yeah, it looks like our Bondo's going to be ready to sand here momentarily. I always check the overage here just to make sure. Yeah, we're ready to go. Now, once I get that sanded, of course, I can't do anything else because we have to back mask and then sand in that area and prime it and everything before we can go to the next step. But all I can really do here is get this part level for Glenn, so when he does decide to come over for the next step, we're pretty much ready to go. And he's got the fairing, I'm sure, ready by now. Well, it looks like I've got one more low spot right in between. See, now this is, we're running to a mountaintop and a mountaintop, so I really should put a little more, one more little swipe of Bondo on that, and that's about all I'm going to be able to do today. Okay, and obviously that's going to dry. 10-15 minutes. We'll work on something else here. Now we got to watch our time today, because tonight we're going up to Bob Navola's old house. He's making a donation to the A-team of some of the old chemicals and stuff that he had when he lived up here. Of course, now he lives in Atlanta. And Bobby, we do miss you, but we'll be making that trip tonight. Now, while I'm waiting for that Bondo to dry, I could run this on the buffer until I get all of the anodizing off. I have to be real careful not to get anything, not to get anything down by the O-ring. I'll be very careful. Do it very carefully and gradually. And as with all anodizing, it eventually will come off. Yeah, that really came out nice. One more little detail. And we did that all while the last coat of that Bondo's drying up. It's almost like getting 2 for the price of 1. Or 1 for the price of 2. Oh, that's dried up nice. Now this should be just a very light sanding. I got a sanding block. I want to just really dress that off as carefully as I can. Really don't see it on the video, but that's quite a lot of work to get it nice and smooth like that. And it's not really ready. We got to put a coat of primer on there and get that all leveled out, but it's basically ready for Glenn to lay out the whatever trim he decides he wants on the top of this. And this tape did a good job. Actually, we don't even need it on there anymore. Good job of protecting that. Always a good idea, because we don't want to go back up to that if we don't have to. Okay, so I got a little bit of time left, but Karen has told me I better start getting ready to go up. We're going to take Nanda, Bobby's wife, out to dinner, and we're going to see what he has decided to contribute to the A-Team. We will take all contributions, and we'll put it to good use, that's for sure. The A-Team is a great charity. You can write it off your income tax. And you'll probably go to jail, too. So we arrive at Bob Navola's old house. And if you look at this, we very seldom get this on video. This is the garage where the original A-Team evolved over many, many years of work. It's a heated garage. It wasn't that we liked Bob that much. We just liked the fact he had a heated garage. He was a superstar. Okay, so let's rob Navola's. Oh, he's got 2. You got your bike here too. Oh my God. Oh, and free lawn chairs. Wow. Oh, Bob, we miss you, baby. We miss you. Days like this. This must be the stuff right here. We call this the A-Team donation.
No, that's the garbage. That's the stuff that can go.
Okay, let's see what he's got.
All this stuff right? Bought a bunch of.
So I get 10 heat guns. I don't. Yeah, at least could have a hair dryer. I could use it for my hair. Don't ever try to dry your hair with a heat gun.
Well, if you want to make a hole in the back.
Look at the stuff we got. Bobby, I hate to tell you this, but there's a good amount of stuff here. Wow, I'm going to owe you a pizza pie soon. Or not. So we got a couple of boxes of stuff. We'll never have to buy another heat gun for the rest of our life. See, Bob, I know down in Atlanta you don't have any snow to keep you company. Hey, say hello, man. We're robbing your place. We're robbing your place, Bobby. And you can't do anything about it. By the way, I wanted to mention is Bobby's got 2 cans of seafoam here he's donating to the A-Team. If your bike doesn't idle right, boy, this is a great for that. Don't drop it, it's explosive. That is a good fix. What else you got? A chain. I'll have to chain care. Wow. This is like the mother load here. Oh, there's what we need. Home Depot motorcycle cleaner. Spray on bike and rinse off. I wonder if anybody I know has a bike that needs to be cleaned. Chemical parts cleaner? Wow. Was that this is a full can. Wow. I wish I had a dirty carburetor. Wave to Bobby, because we're going out for Mexican food, Bobby, and you're not. Cinco de Mayo. Holy mackerel. We're living it up on Bobby's nickel here.
I need your
so this is what we're having for dessert, Bobby. Bobby. It's eat your heart out, Bobby time. Well, a good way to start off the new day. The Eagles are back. Hey, we had a great night at Bob's, at Nanda's, and it was we got a truckload of stuff to put away this morning. So the first thing I did this morning, and I really got ambitious about this because it looks like the weather's turning. I got the old oil filter off, dropped the oil, got some brand new oil out, and the only thing left to do is safety wire the oil filter. Now I know some people don't safety wire their oil filter, but in this case, I just want to play it safe. Also, little safety wire tool you can get from Harbor Freight. Actually, you can even buy the safety wire in Harbor Freight. There's nothing I'm surprised they don't sell Yamahas in Harbor Freight. So now with fresh oil in there, and within the next couple of days we're going to start the assembly, so it's just a lot easier to do an oil change when you don't have to deal with taking off all of the body work and dripping and drooling and everything. Just makes it a lot easier. And to be honest, I'm always trying to make things easier. And Bobby, I really do appreciate the donation to the illustrious A-Team. We will use all this stuff. Another sign of spring is we've got our first algae bloom of the year. We've got the waterfalls started. Filters are all clean. This is actually the beginning of the ponding season and the FZR season. I love the sound of that waterfall in the evening. So we have a limited amount of time today because our grandson's coming over for the whole day. So I was glad I got my waterfalls going. I got my oil changed. I got all the stuff from Bobby put away. And actually I'm very happy that the weather looks like it's going to be nice for the next couple of days. May even get a ride in. Now there's still a couple little parts I have to polish up here, and as I'm looking, I'm cleaning up after the oil change. I can take this. That needs to be repolished. Take the bolts. They could be refreshed. Get some of these parts. Take the cotter pin. I want to bring some of this stuff downstairs and get it polished up. We're coming up on the end of this job, and I want everything to be polished. Now I want to take the axle. It's going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but I got to jack the bike up, take the axle out, polish it, and I can put it back because the axle, actually right now we're using it to support the bike, but I want to do the polishing on it, and I'll take the bolts down, get everything polished up, and that's one more little step I can take care of today. Now, it's always among the little details. When you leave out one of the little details, it always shows in the end. Now, this is another thing that I got to be careful I don't get any grinding compound down into the little gear that's in there. But this will be very easy to polish that. Whoop, as he throws it over the fence. And a little detail, something that I always try to look. This is the part we're going to see. Little details always make the job complete. I think that'll just look a little bit nicer, just a little bit. And we're going to go and go right through all these parts, keeping them separate. What goes with the back wheel, what goes with the front wheel. Even though it's relatively simple, I don't want to mix and match the bolts. Yeah, nice. It's a little detail touch, and there's a lot of them on this motorcycle. So this is also a decision everybody has to make. Would you rather have that bolt sticking out of the bike, or would you rather have this one? Now, it only takes seconds on that buffing wheel. There's no big effort going in here. It's just a detail that has to be done, and you have to decide if it's worth it to you. Me, I like having the bolts look like this, and I don't like having this. I always think of a rusty bolt on a bike as like when you're a teenager and you have a pimple right on the end of your nose, and everybody notices that rusty bolt. Everybody. Even Karen notices it. Now that buffing wheel is so inexpensive. I think it was 70 bucks. I had a coupon for it from Harbor Freight. I've gotten so much use out of it, doing my parts and parts for other people. That's really a great investment. And doing little jobs like this, just so easy, and it's such a nice touch to the motorcycle. Now even the axle, the rear axle, and this is a hollow axle, of course. Even this gets really cruddy after a while, and 5 minutes over on a buffing wheel, this will look a lot better anyway. Right, I cleaned up very nice. Very nice. Every little detail is important to me anyway. Maybe it's important to you too. Now this is good and rusty. The washer and the rest of these bolts, we're going to just go right at this. Clean up everything as long as we have time today. And at the end of the day, I'll be very happy when I go to reassemble a motorcycle. Handling these parts will be so much nicer. Nut cleaned up nice. For a 30-year-old nut. So this basically completes the cleanup of all the wheel hardware. We don't have the rear wheel ready yet, of course, but we have all of the hardware done. And that's another watershed in the ultimate goal here of being ready to get this motorcycle put back together. I am getting more excited by the moment as we come down a home stretch. Because this is the A-team, the work is unending. It never ends. There's always a new project. There's always somebody putting one in a ditch or somebody wanting to restore something that's really rusty. And we have really enjoyed sharing every single, I don't think there's a single detail of this whole project that's not on video. We're into this coming up on 150 days. And that's, you figure it out how many hours there are. We spend about 4 hours a day on this. It's a lot of hours. But we're going to start putting this puppy together, assuming the weather holds out. And get those RD shocks on, among other things. And very soon, hopefully, be getting some rides in. So before I end this video, I have some really important news. Really. For my whole, I don't know, last 20 years or so, everybody has bitched about me not having a modern cell phone with apps and services, and everybody knows I have a flip phone, and everybody I know intimately knows I don't text. I don't do any of that. But things have changed. And Karen, in all her wisdom, got me a new phone, and I want to show my new phone. I want you to be the first one to see my new phone. So here's my new phone. It's a 1933. What year is this? 33, Karen?
Yes.
33. 1933, and it has all the latest features. The features are, look at the length of this cord. You can stand up or sit down. Right on Karen's recently restored. We even have a video of restoring it. Is that a beauty? You know, this thing weighs about 20 pounds, by the way. Now, I will not be carrying this on rides. A little bit heavy. It doesn't fit in my little satchel. But, as I say it, the phone rings. Probably Glenn, call it up. Glenn's going to install it for me. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And this is really the last piece of the puzzle right here. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Well, I come to say hello, and the next thing I know, Wendy's putting me to work.
It's a mistake to come see me at 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm already working.
I came by for a cup of coffee, and the next thing I know, I'm sanding parts.
So listen, I didn't get rich by standing around watching YouTube like you, you know. Listen, what we're going to do, and this is significant. This is the reason I want to put this on a video. This is a part that goes on the tank. Glenn is taking his black Ducati, turning it into a red Ducati. He got a spare set of bodywork. Just like I got a spare set of wheels and stuff. But what he's going to do, and we're going to do this.
Luciano said all Ducatis are supposed to be red.
Yeah, especially his yellow one. We have these stickers that John Pothier graciously made up. And we've got a bunch of them, by the way. Anybody would like one of these to put on their helmet or their bike. The only problem is, it's to remember our friend Larry DeTore. I have them on 2 of my bikes now, but here's the problem. It's a water release decal. In this case, we're going to clear over later in the day once we get... He's got to do some sanding. He's got to be man up to the bar and do some sanding here. Okay. Once we put this on, we'll put a couple of coats of clear. It's got to dry a couple of days. And of course, it's in a tribute to our late friend. And boy, do we miss him. Everybody I know misses Larry. He's in my shop. We have a lot of, I don't know, a lot of the people that I've already passed on into motorcycle heaven, and my good friend Frank, of course. And the things that I remember, the things that made my life worthwhile. And one of the things I really like, Chris took this picture. It makes me look a lot younger than I am. Not that much younger. You can see the kind of respect I'm getting. But anyway, and We're in the middle of doing Vlad's project. We got all the carbon fiber stuff, one more part to spray, so we'll spray that and Glenn's part at the same time. We got the Kawasaki we're working on. That's out in the garage drying right now. The side covers can be, they're actually ready to be wet sanded. We got all our curvy girl things ready for this next restoration. And of course, the big part of this job is going to be when I do this body work for Vlad. We're going to show in detail, because Mark Morgan wants to do it too. We're going to detail how to make the proper carbon fiber. I ordered a bunch from Brodak of the nice fresh CA, so Mark is going to take some home and do some reinforcements on his bike. But here's a tip. If you take the parts off and reinforce them before they crack, it's a lot more fun than after they crack, like this. See, once they crack, you're pretty much screwed. Same thing with this. Once you fall into that category, and this is a $46,000 motorcycle and it cracked. So look at this one. You got to be, and one of the things I'm going to do, Glenn, I got a bunch of those extra gold bolts. I'm going to try just making those bolts hand tight and Loctite in the bolt, because the washer is rubber, and seeing if that'll hold the bodywork on and put all of these, and this is an expensive motorcycle.
Yeah.
And boy, you tighten them up and you get problems. So that's we're going to be working on that. This is 100 hours of work doing this.
These take the rubber well nuts just like a lot of Japanese bikes, and especially the Ducati.
Yes, and up
if
here,
that well nut falls through the hole, that's
screwed.
how a lot of people crack the plastic.
Yeah, see, but up here, some of these things, they really have to be addressed. And because the things, like up here, the paint is chipping off and everything. Well, we got a lot of stuff to work on, but the biggest thing is, hey, yeah, you'll be happy you came to see me this afternoon.
Can I eat now?
No. There's no food until that part is in clear and drying. And you come 5 in the morning, this is what happens. You got to go to work. You got to work with the chickens. Because,
I tried to sneak in and you caught me.
No. Luciano tries that. We moved some furniture the other day, and he tries sneaking in here at 7:30, and I'm wide awake painting, the compressors going. Made him nuts. Anyway. All right. That's looking good here.
Coming out.
Now, Luciano's got the H1 in his garage. He's going to fire it up in the next couple of days.
Can't wait for that.
Can't wait to hear that.
That's going to be...
In fact, I watched Jay Leno Garage on the H2 just to see.
I
wanted to hear some two-strokes.
We need to hear
and
that.
Morgan was here yesterday, but you know what Morgan did? Listen, I gotta expose Mark for the man he is. He comes over here, and the baby and I are playing with this Hot Wheels set. And Mark was having more fun with the Hot Wheels than the baby was. The baby's like, it's my Hot Wheels! Ah! Oh, Mark, you're such a guy.
I think we know what we have to get Mark for Christmas.
So anybody wants to send Mark a Christmas card with a Hot Wheels gift card?
Gonna get him a Hot Wheels set.
I was looking up Hot Wheels. There's a multiple racetrack that lists for $375. A 6-lane AC powered. Can you imagine?
That's a serious. Huh?
Yeah. So Auntie, up to the bar. It's your turn to pay.
It's good. It's a Miles Christmas.
Miles Christmas.